Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Giannis Antetokounmpo has agreed to a 5-year, $228 million extension to stay in Milwaukee. So this storyline that we thought would play out throughout the season and into the offseason next year, it's done. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be the star for the Milwaukee Bucks for the foreseeable future. Congratulations to Giannis. I know this dude is from nothing for real. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. This is an organization that has struggled to keep guys around over the last 20, 25 years. If you want to date back to people like Ray Allen when they were stars of that franchise all the way on down. This team has gotten it wrong in drafts. They went all in on Jabari Parker a few years ago, and he didn't pan out, and injuries plagued his career. So the fact that they finally got it right with a guy that had little to no expectations, that's the thing with Giannis. Giannis, his situation is a little different than LeBron in Cleveland. We compare Giannis in Milwaukee to LeBron first go around in Cleveland a lot. But I leave out this difference too often, right? There is a big difference between Giannis and LeBron situations. LeBron was the number one pick in the draft in 2003. He was expected to be great. He had expectations since he was like 14 years old. Giannis, late lottery, there was no expectations on this dude. He was a project at best, even though he was a lottery pick. No one knew what they were getting out of Giannis. Milwaukee didn't know what they were getting out of Giannis. It was just a pipe dream. So there's a certain loyalty that Giannis feels with Milwaukee. And I think that went a lot into this decision. The Milwaukee Bucks sat down with Giannis right after the bubble. After the Bucks got eliminated in the second round, they talked to Giannis. They asked him, what do you want? What can we do to make you happy? Giannis let some things go. He told them some things that he would have liked. He wanted to see improvements to the roster. And the Milwaukee Bucks did that immediately. They went out and got Jrue Holiday. They had a deal in place for Bogdanovich. Obviously, because of tampering speculation, that one went left. But let's be clear. Milwaukee went out and got Giannis a second or third option, depending on how you rank Jrue Holiday in this league. I look at Giannis and say, I'm not mad at him for signing the extension. Congratulations to him. I mean, how can you be mad at somebody for becoming $200 million richer? My only concern and pushback a little bit is the timing of it. Now, Giannis had about 4 or 5 more days to sign that max extension before it was taken off the table. And then the first time he would have been able to sign a new contract would have been next offseason, if that's in the summer or the fall of next year. That would have been the first time he would have been able to re-sign with Milwaukee if he chose to stay there. The only thing I would say is Giannis could have put more pressure on Milwaukee by keeping his options open and playing this thing out. Giannis doesn't have a long injury history like an Anthony Davis or like a Paul George. To me, you put the ultimate amount of pressure on Milwaukee to continue to go out and give you better players and go over the cap by playing it out throughout the year. Round trade deadline, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks feel like they're one piece away. Because Giannis, if he's not signed for the future, maybe the Bucks go out and get you 3 pieces. Maybe they overbuy to please Giannis because they know if they would have lost Giannis, it was over. So that's my only thing. Because Giannis doesn't have a big injury history and he's in phenomenal shape, he's incredible, the 2-time reigning MVP. He's pretty much available every game. Matter of fact, the only time he really missed time last year was for the birth of his child. Then obviously in the playoffs, he got injured. But other than that, Giannis has been as durable an athlete as we got in the league over the last few years. Him and Bron have been 1 and 2. I would have put pressure on Milwaukee. If you want to stay in Milwaukee, that same deal would have been on the table. Actually, a little more money in about 10 months from now. 7, 8 months from now. That same deal would have been on the table for Giannis. That's my only pushback. But, hey, he wanted to do it now. He wanted to pledge his allegiance to the Milwaukee Bucks. Hopefully, Milwaukee doesn't let this dude down. Hopefully, Milwaukee doesn't let him down and stop going and getting them pieces. Obviously, that's a lot of money they've given one athlete, but he's damn worth it. If he ever develops a jump shot, I mean, this dude is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions about it. He'll probably end up being one anyway, but if he ever develops a jumper, we talking about an all-time great here. If he ever gets a jumper and the Bucks wanted their guy, they got him. Huge win for them. Giannis has a second star in Chris Middleton. Some believe he's a second guy. Others believe he's a third guy. Right now, he's their second guy, and Drew's going to be their third guy. There are pieces there in Milwaukee. They've shown Giannis everything that he needed to see, and he's agreed to sign with them 5 years, $226 to $28 million, somewhere around there. And I'm hearing that there's a player option on the last year of this deal, all right? Congratulations to all parties involved. Y'all let me know in the comment box below. Would you have signed the deal if you were Giannis Antetokounmpo right before the season started? Like I said, I personally would have waited and signed that. Even if Giannis got hurt. Like, we just watched KD get hurt and tear his Achilles over a year ago, and Brooklyn still signed him knowing that he'd be down for a year. They paid for his rehab and took care of his surgery. He was under contract with them. Like, let's say Giannis got hurt, and, you know, he was down for a year. Knock on wood, right? It's not like Milwaukee wouldn't have still given him the 5 years, $228 million supermax, right? They would have still given him that money, even if he was hurt. So that's my only thing. Why take away your leverage? When you're as great as Giannis is, coming off of 2 MVPs, you don't have to sign early anymore. There's a new day and age in the NBA. Paul George just got an extension, and he was abysmal in the playoffs last year and barely played in the regular season last year as well. Still just got a max extension. You will get your money if you're an all-star, top 10 guy, let alone a superstar who's just won back-to-back MVPs and giving the Milwaukee Bucks the top record the last few years. That's my only thing. Why sign now? That is a bad business move in my estimations. But again, Giannis is a loyal guy. If you want to know my honest last thoughts, I believe Giannis was afraid to get to free agency. I believe Giannis is a guy who knows he owes Milwaukee something, even though I guess technically he doesn't owe him anything, but I think in the back of his mind, he knows Milwaukee took a chance on him. They've put his brother on the roster, right? Which is that's a lob. That's something. You know, I think Giannis knows if I would have gotten to free agency and I would have heard offers from Pat Riley and the Miami Heat, from possibly the Los Angeles Clippers, depending on what they would have done with Paul George to create cap room, I believe Giannis would have saw those big markets like Miami and LA. And though in the past he's told us he has no interest in playing in those markets, I mean, damn it, man. You got $300, $400 million and you're a human. You're a man. I think Giannis would have got tempted to leave, and he didn't want to put himself in that position. It's like being in a relationship with the woman who's good, with the man who's good, and you don't even want to put yourself out there with the temptations of the certain strip clubs. You don't even want to go down that lane because you know where it could take you, because there's a potential you might find something out there that garners your interest in the short term more. He didn't even want to do that. He's picking long term where he's found happiness at that ain't never did him wrong. And that's why he's a Milwaukee Buck for the foreseeable future, in my estimations. All right?